And we are live. I have the deep pleasure to welcome my new friend here, Jack Everly, one of the SuperFreques members, one of my dear SuperFreques fellows. A big shout out to Alden Darville for creating this beautiful community. So for once, not a hound, it's a SuperFreque. So before I introduce you a little bit to mostly my fellow hounds, usually, do you want to say a few words, Jack?
It's great to be here. I'm really excited to be part of this wonderful experience, and let's get it on. Let's get it going.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you joined. And actually, we never really met, even on video. We exchanged many amazing messages, comments, etc. But it's actually our first time to really be camera to camera online altogether. So I'm really excited. We had a big vibe from the get going. So. Alden had a massive insight when he thought about connecting the two of us, and I'm really blown away. So just in a nutshell, because you are much more than that, you're a writer, you're a joker, humorist of different tones. A traveler, a world traveler, a marathoner. You have a very holistic approach, a very energetic and spiritual approach, which is the reason why you joined the SuperFreques to begin with, right? And yeah, so I've been fascinated with your about section on LinkedIn, especially like LinkedIn tends to be very business oriented, right? Most people use LinkedIn to get career advancement, to get leads, prospects, clients, etc., or just put their own professional brilliance on the stage. And you have one specific line that made me laugh so hard. You say, chances are high I'm not interested in working for your company. That one was so disruptive to me. It was absolutely brilliant. I was like, guys, I'm too busy to work with you. I probably won't even consider it. I probably won't even look at it, guys. But I love you anyway. So I felt it was very, very powerful. And other things, so more on your personal website, I read that. So how does one achieve freedom and happiness in this life? And then you said, we decided to tour the world. So you decided to pursue freedom and happiness, to build your own freedom and happiness through touring the world, through travel. And you mentioned Mekong Delta in Japan, and we will talk about that. We'll touch base, because it's one of our common points. I'm deeply into Eastern culture and Eastern wisdom as well. So yeah, you're a traveler, you're into holistic health, writing, you're more music. You're a big music fan, as I am. So many connection points, and hopefully many connection points with our beautiful audience. So I want to do a big shout out to my friend Jason that joined us. So probably some more fellows will join as well. But yeah. You know what? It doesn't even matter. I'm with Jack. Jason, you're with us. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I feel like Jason and Jack, you have many things in common. I feel you would vibe big, the two of you. Yeah, just feel free, Jason, or anyone else interested, to ask questions to Jack. But for now, my time to play. And very first, so it was very interesting. So in the many things I read about you, you mentioned your inner demons, and that, your own inner demons and your wife inner demons, actually, and that basically you managed to trick your inner demons to win the game against them or with them maybe. So I'm very interested. How did you manage that? So was it through travel, spirituality, writing, all of the above? How did you do that?
Well, it started out a long time ago when I realized I was just not made for the conventional lifestyle. Nothing seemed to fit. Everything seemed so senseless, and the way people run after material goods or power or any of these things just seemed ridiculous to me. But I couldn't do anything about it because I was so young. And later, when I started growing up, I really came into. I had real problems with those inner demons. Hi, Jonathan. And with these inner demons, I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but I was a let them cry it out kind, which meant that if I was in bed at night and I was crying as a baby, my parents said, just let him cry, he'll be fine. And one of the things I've since learned is that that is a very, very big problem with newborns and babies. If they have to go through that, then they actually learn helplessness. And that was something I actually had to deal with throughout my entire life. I still am, actually. But to answer your question, I took the tools that were given to me and made the best work out of them. And one of the tools that I enjoy most and was given, one of the things I'm very most talented at, it would be humor. And I just trusted myself and worked with that humor in order to grow relationships and spread a good vibe wherever I went. And that gave me the way, just by anyone laughing or anything, that gave me confidence to grow out of myself into a higher form of myself, into somebody that I could be proud of, and somebody that was not bothered by these inner demons, and not plagued by these inner demons. And that's really what my story has been all about. I use the humor in everyday life. I use the humor in my writing. Wherever I go, I try to surprise people, make them think different, see a different version of reality than the one we're spoon-fed. And that's what I'm all about.
Oh man, I love that so much. Yeah, it's very, very powerful. The spoon-fed common reality, definitely resonates with me. So I want to welcome warmly our friend Jonathan here. So another highly spiritual traveler, and I love that you mentioned that you might have significantly less air miles. But there are so many ways to travel. Physically traveling is one way, but there are many ways. I know, Jonathan, you're a giant traveler. You travel big time. So wanted to acknowledge that traveling is not just with our feet or with wings or that kind of thing. And thank you for joining, Marne. Welcome. So we're just getting started. And I love you. So really, what you mentioned, laughter, that is such a powerful thing. And I know actually for many people, laughing is a coping mechanism. And maybe it started the same way for you. It's like, better laugh than cry. Basically, it has to come out somewhat. So better, come with a laugh than tears. But actually, I feel like genuine laughter, when you really, create positive humor coming from yourself and sharing it with others, and gifting them with positivity and like laughter, like kids are laughing all the time. It's one of the reasons why they are so emotionally healthy, at least most of them. Unfortunately, some of them not so much, but there's something very powerful in laughter that we tend to forget and lose when we grow up, right? And I was thinking, hey, you know what? So for anyone knowing me a little bit, my personal holy trinity is compassion, gratitude, and forgiveness. Those three are massive. Like if you just focus on those three, you probably have high chances to just win the game without needing much on the side. But I feel okay, laughter probably it's linked to at least one of them, or maybe it's another. So I'm kind of curious to explore that. How laughter works in that trinity. Is it part of gratitude? So I will play with that on my own, because right now we probably don't have time to go too deep into that. I will see. Maybe we will. But yeah, I really enjoyed what you mentioned. And basically, yeah, you won the game your way through humor. This is very powerful. And actually, I remember an amazing thing that I met at different points in my life, and basically, you can't be afraid. You can't suffer from fear if at the same time you are laughing. It just doesn't work. You can't be in fear while being laughing at the same time, which actually is a very powerful way to free yourself from tyranny. There is an amazing book called Revolution Blueprint that is all about that, how to throw away tyrants through laughter. It's an amazing concept, guys. If you're interested, I would be happy to share that extremely powerful book. And another thing, humor is a key. It's a master key to free ourselves from fear. So sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that really ties in well to the one of the basic central messages of The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco. The reason that this book was so damned was why the one monk killed everybody who read it, was because it was humor, and humor has the power to upset everything. And if you're part of an insane society, in an insane world, then the best thing, it seems to me, in my opinion, to do is to do everything in your power to upset that insanity, to get things back down to normal, back down to the ground where they belong. And like I say, that's where I try to use humor as I don't want to say weapon, but as sort of a balance, a scale to balance things out.
Yeah, I love that. So actually, I love that you reframe that you thought about weapon and you made a difference. So and it absolutely can be used as a weapon, a very powerful weapon. It doesn't have to. Personally, I'm also pacifist, but at the same time, sometimes you need something bigger and more effective than just pacifism. Unfortunately, I really hope for the best outcomes. And actually, from that same book I mentioned, the Revolution Blueprint, there's some research proving that revolutions have much less chances to happen and to be lasting in time if they come from arms. Pacifist revolutions have much higher chances to really make a difference, a lasting difference. True. So whenever you can, choosing peace, choosing a positive and weaponless approach is always better. Sometimes it's not an option, or sometimes you're like, your inner demons, right? Your shadow takes over, and you're like, okay, guys, I'm really sorry, but I can't stay in peace anymore. And actually, it's one of my very favorite authors ever, Josh Weskin, that wrote the Art of Learning, one of the most amazing books I ever read. Very, very recommended. And he is deeply a pacifist at heart. And at the same time, he is a multiple world champion of Tai Chi push hands. So he was able to kick asses from Chinese, Taiwanese, like the biggest names in that sport. He was able to beat them. So it doesn't make any sense on paper. You're like, how could you be a pacifist and be a martial artist at the same time and doing competition martial arts? And he has that amazing concept that actually it's very easy to be a pacifist while you stay on your couch. It's much harder to keep being a pacifist while you're in the midst of chaos and war. So actually, he was training his pacifist side in the middle of chaos and war. On the battlefield, if you are able to stay a pacifist, then you're an ultimate pacifist of sorts. I feel is very, very powerful. So we still have many other things to cover. It's just not about war and peace and that, but I feel we started quite powerfully already. So yeah, really love our conversation so far. I knew it would rocket very high in the sky. So I'm very, very happy. And okay, and yeah, just I wanted to mention I will have to cut shorter than usual because I'm a guest on another show right at the hour, so I will have to cut a little bit short. That's why I'm trying to cut the topics, because Jack is so deep, has so many different facets. I would like to introduce at least some of them to our beautiful audience here. So I'd like to shift gears a little bit. Actually, it's quite connected to what we already explored, because there was that idea that you presented to me, that idea of loving minds in healthy bodies. And I'd like you to elaborate a little more about that. It's something that I really, really enjoy, a twist on the mens sana and corpore sano, in a healthy mind in a healthy body. So a loving mind in a healthy body totally resonates with me, but I would love you to elaborate on that.
Yep. Well, it seems to me that there's a connection between emotions and health. If you have your emotions, your spiritual side in balance, then the body is going to follow, and that's why we need to do everything in our power to deal with our inner demons and to put them behind us, or at least to live peacefully with them as much as possible. They're only going to get in the way. They're causing scars. They are part of scars, and we need to heal these scars fully before we can move forward and reach our full potential. And that's basically what I'm all about. And the one thing that heals the best is love. I wouldn't know what else would be. I think, to be honest with you, I think that a lot of pharmaceutical companies realize that already. Which is why they spend so much money on advertising and selling their products. Nothing works like love. Nothing heals like love. It's the ultimate force in the universe, and I don't want to get into too much aesthetic kind of values or ideas, but it's all kids' needs. It's all animals need. It's what peace is all about. What life is all about. And I guess I'm rambling now, so I'm going to stop and leave it up to you.
I totally disagree with you. You're not rambling. You're just getting deeper into that love concept. And yeah, I feel you're absolutely right. Many people are starting to realize that it sounds super corny, super cliche, like total woo, new age, tree hugger kind of stuff. But actually, many people are realizing, hey, you know what? That stuff, actually, it might be it. So I feel like the world is slowly but surely coming to its senses about that. Just wanted to make a quick parenthesis. So Marne, yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's exactly that book I referenced. That book is amazing. I can't hardly remember his name. Probably can't pronounce his right. Serja Popovic, I believe. Amazing book. Extremely powerful. So that one and the Josh Waitzkin one, two amazing books on different sites. And and actually our common friend from the SuperFreques, Ben Palmer, introduced me to a very interesting twist. So I tend to see like an opposition of forces. I'm really deeply into Tao, into the Chinese Tao, and that there are for many things there are two poles, not necessarily fighting each other, but really like looking at each other and dancing to each other with each other. And for a long time, I saw love and fear dancing together. And actually, Ben mentioned that for him, it wasn't fear, it was the unknown, which is much different and gives a very interesting twist on that. And yeah, it feels right. It feels somewhat So just wanted to mention that. And basically, I feel it's exactly what we're exploring today, right? Inner demons, knowing yourself, exploring love through laughter or other ways, and traveling. Traveling is exploring the unknown and discovering the unknown and getting closer to the unknown and making the unknown known than loved, at least in my opinion. So go ahead, please.
Yes.
Of course.
Sorry, I want to just add something to that. And one of the reasons I am like I am is because I've come into a body of knowledge. It's a story that nobody is familiar with. This sort of renegade scholar from the Middle East has uncovered this stuff, and he shows in the book we worked on together. He shows that the way we live our lives was actually born in a very destructive natural catastrophe. And that's very important because that means that we start out with this scar in our mind. And a lot of scientists, a lot of experts out there might be familiar with the term transgenerational trauma. And this trauma has been passed down through the centuries, which is just another excuse for me to say we really need to take care of this stuff in order to move beyond it. And because I see the word unknown, that's actually why I said that. The world was certain up until this point. Up until this point, everybody had their position, everybody had their lives to live, everybody was part of a greater whole. And that greater whole was nature or God or whatever you want to call it. And then this catastrophe happened, and that threw an element of the unknown into the equation, which is where we actually went wrong, in my opinion, anyway. With doubt came into the equation, fear came into the equation. People were forced to ask themselves if the God that they had up until that point really was the ultimate, most powerful God, because what happened was certainly a superhuman power, and it destroyed everything they knew about their lifestyle at that time. It's a very common geological phenomenon, what they witnessed, and it's been repeated in stories throughout the ages. It started out in the Middle East, and the Greeks took it up, but they had their own version of this story. The Romans had their own version of this story, and we are currently living in the lifestyle that these scarred people, due to this natural catastrophe, invented. They invented it and passed it down to all of us. And as long as we keep living the way we are without dealing with these inner demons, then we're going to pass this scarred, harmed, doubtful, unknown, fear-based lifestyle on to our children, and to without even realizing it. This is where the road we're headed, which is why I'm a super freak, and which is why I'm here now, and which is why I'm so interested in humor and upsetting the order that is right now. So that's my tale.
Yeah, I love that, and yeah, I feel it. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Marnie just had a very interesting comment saying that we've evolved based on real and manufactured fears. That's a very interesting point, because that's exactly what happened. Yeah, these fears were even though we had these sort of natural catastrophes throughout the ages, these particular people manufactured these fears and doubts, and turned them into real problems up here, up here, not in Gorilla Head. But that's a very good point, Marnie. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned your outfit. I still haven't introduced your outfit. Maybe our audience don't realize, but you're in full gorilla outfit. So that's Jack Everly for you. Saying very deep and profound and powerful truth. While being a gorilla suit, because why not? Because why not? And actually, exactly. You know what? I will join you. It will mess with my background, so I won't keep it. But I promise you, I would have my polar bear cap. But I love my Doctor Strange background too much, so they don't get along too well. So
that's a shame.
I choose my background for now. And and this is very, very true. So that manufactured fears, unfortunately. The other thing, I have the feeling that 2 million years ago, when we were still in caves and struggling to survive, we were surrounded by fears of many kinds, and the unknown was a potential threat at any single second. So it makes sense that we came to connect the unknown with fears and potential threats, and being very, very resistant to the unknown, and very, very careful with the unknown. And over time, we became the alpha species, right, on the planet. We were able to beat saber-toothed tigers, all sorts of violent animals. We at the top. There is only a few mosquitoes and viruses that can really get us down. But there almost nothing can hurt us except our own kind, right? Other humans, obviously. But still, we kept those fears, some of those fears, and we have kept, at least it's my belief, that we are still kind of addicted to be fearful and to be careful. And some people were very smart, and I don't want to go, all the political way. Just wanted to mention that, some people were extremely good at engineering fear and using fear as levers. And I'd rather keep my podcast politics free. So because yeah, it can go very, very, it's a slippery slope, right? So it can go all sorts of wrongs. So still, I'm very politic in my own way, but I feel it probably wouldn't be the best way to go. And actually, in a way, I don't care much about politics, to be honest. Just, yeah, it's high time that we take that in our own hands. And actually, it starts with ourselves by just making sure we are the most humane and kindest and most generous people and most evolved versions of ourselves. It's a form of politics to me. Like if you with your own shit first, and then you can tell others what they should do. It's how I feel.
That's
So
what I
just
just
wanted
wanted to say.
but yeah, totally agree with that. Real fears compared to manufactured fears. But I'd rather not explore that too deep. But I totally agree with you, Marnie and Jack. So, guys, if you have any questions for Jack, we have about 20 minutes left. So I would be so happy if you have some questions. If you don't, no worries. I got you covered. And I'd like to challenge you, actually, Jack, because I feel it will be quite difficult. I would love for you to sum up the enlightenment you harvested during your travels, during your many travels, in 5 minutes tops.
Oh,
Maximum
wow.
5 minutes to encapsulate what. So basically, just go for the big ones. The big. However you want. Just I have 32 right now until 37. You go.
Right now? Okay. We started in 2018, heading out into the big wide world and picked some very special spots to visit and really made the most out of each and every one of those visits. One of the things I can say that I'm most proud of is that we actually traveled to places without having any idea whatsoever how we were going to leave that place because we had no money whatsoever. And that was an incredible experience because it forces you to take a leap and say the money will come as long as we just do whatever we need to do, come out of ourselves, trust our intuition, that kind of thing. And it worked every time. Even our nightmare scenario, which I will get to in a second, the places we visited, I would never exchange those experiences one bit. We saw three different oceans and five, I want to say five different continents, and loved every single one. And I can see this is devolving right now. It's hard for me to get my mind away from the one place that was very difficult. I'm going to go into that now. And the one place that we really had problems with was Sri Lanka. I think it's important that people hear this because Sri Lanka, for most people, is just another destination. Maybe they associate that with India, which makes sense. But for us, we had a completely different experience because we did not go to a typical vacation hotel with all you can eat, this, that, and everything else. We stayed amongst the people, and that proved to be challenging to say the least. We got out of the airport and had to wait for a taxi to take us where we needed to go, and immediately came into contact with a young boy, maybe about 18 years old, and he had about 6 sisters with him and a much younger brother. And all the sisters were fascinated by my wife and daughter's white skin and blonde hair, and they really wanted to get their picture taken with him. And while they did all that, that young boy must have been 16, 17 years old, told me if I wanted any of his daughters, I should just take him with me. And that was really hard to swallow. Then we moved. We finally got our taxi and headed down to Sri Lankan southeast, and that's important because the southeastern side is where the tsunami hit. And within 1 day, 2 days, we came into contact with people who lost one guy lost 10 members of his family because of the tsunami. And we were actually helping a woman take care of an animal shelter, and all of the animals there were washed inland by the tsunami. And then when the tsunami went back, all the animals ended up exactly where they left, except for, I think, 3. They were washed out to sea. And when the tsunami was over, they just swam back to where they came from, which is wonderful. One animal died, and that was because the people who were taking care of the shelter decided to spend all the money that they had on partying instead of on dog food. And the dog starved. It was actually an Indian wolf. It starved to death. And the point of this is that this tragedy and this event left a scar on these people. And obviously, the one on the beach that we met that lost 10 members of his family, he has not moved beyond that. He will not be able to function as a healthy human being until he does. And this is why we realized, another reason why we realized that the best thing we could possibly do is to go inside, take care of our inner demons, and enjoy this, I'm going to say it, motherfucking beautiful planet as best we can. We need to be one with life. We need to enjoy every moment, enjoy every ray of sunshine that comes our way. We need to enjoy every raindrop that comes our way. I don't know. This is a topic that means a lot to me, and I think all of our travels just cemented our beliefs and what we're doing and what we're all about. And I guess that's the point of my tale, as it is.
You did it in 5 minutes. Plus, you told a quite not long story, but you took your time to tell a very important story. So well done. I'm impressed, Jack. That you wrap it up beautifully. Exactly. Like probably, at least from my understanding, the most massive takeaway from your troubles, it's just carpe diem, just seize the moment, just enjoy it while it lasts, because tomorrow might never exist. Like I call it the Beirut paradigm. I don't know if you ever been to Beirut, to Lebanon. I was supposed to be born in Lebanon, actually in Beirut, and because of the war, so this country has known war for decades now. It has been a permanent war zone for decades. Unfortunately, it's still very beautiful country, amazing people living in Lebanon, very, very kind and amazing people. But in Lebanon, they especially the younglings, especially the youth, they are afraid that a bomb might fall onto their roof at any time. Not always, but during some times, when the war is more hot. And because of that, they tend to live every day, every night, like it's the very last of their life. So really biting into the juice of life as feverishly as possible, as yummily as possible, which, yes, it comes from something dark, right? But actually, I feel it's an amazing take on life that, you know what, in a snap, it can end for any one of us. We never know. Like, so many people just have a stroke and fall dead on the spot. And they spend their entire life to save money. So when they retire, they will finally enjoy that. And look at that, 6 months before they retire, boom, they die. Or what happens, like Ukraine not so long ago, or Palestine, or so many other countries. And once again, not going the politics road, but still, like war is a thing, right? Tyrants is a thing. So you never know. So we better enjoy life as fully and deeply and joyfully as possible. So I love your takeaways so much. Thank you for that, Jack. Really, really appreciate that. And I love that actually. It's as you mentioned, your worst travel experience actually allowed you to have a much more positive take on life, which is fascinating. Exactly, Jonathan was mentioning shadow work. To me, it's part of the shadow work. The shadow allows us to enjoy the light even more. It makes the light shine even brighter. To me, it is like a jewel box. The jewel box makes the jewel shines brighter. And it's very, very important. So as we are on the last 10 minutes of this show, and I'm enjoying every minute of it, I'm so sorry that I will have to cut short, but yeah, that's how it is. I would love to ask you, so let me highlight it. So Jonathan had a question for you. Who is your guru and your favorite stand-up?
Oh, got it. I could talk for ages about that. I got to admit, I'm really really impressed with Dave Chappelle. Love what he's all about. He can combine the most hilarious topic with the deepest, most profound statements that there is. George Carlin was another one of my early heroes, but I think he also talked a lot about profound topics, but I think he was a little too negative for me. Oh God, he was hilarious, but I couldn't get enough of him. But like I say, Dave Chappelle, George Carlin, way up there. Monty Python was life changing for me. Anybody else? Oh, Bill Burr. I think he's pretty good. He's from my home state. There's so many. I don't even know where to begin to start. Mitch Hedberg is a legend in the business. Can't ignore him. When it comes to movies, it's hard for me to talk about comedy without going into movies, and then I would have to say the Coen brothers are way up there. Oh, I could, like I say, I could talk about this for days. Thanks for the question.
I love that you mentioned the Monty Pythons. They have been a massive influence for me. Like I worship those guys. They are to me the absolute best in the field. I'm totally biased, right? And I totally own it. Yeah, you massive fan of the Monty Pythons. So yeah, that's the thing. Like humor is a beautiful thing, and I love that actually many people have different kind of humor. Like look at the typical British humor. You have Monty Pythons, you have Benny Hill, and you have Mr. Bean, and you can say one is the absolute best, objective best. They are all very different. You might be very resistant to some styles. You might be like, no, it's absolutely not for me. It doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. It's just not your stuff. I know you're very much into diversity as well, and that you love, opening your mind and exploring, other people's take on things. So I love that. So before we end, and I know you probably don't want to necessarily make any even invitation for people to work with you, or not necessarily, have anything work related. But still, I would love to know, what are you working on these days? Or if you prefer going that way, what excites you these days? What are you going to build in 2024, the Wood Dragon year? What's cooking?
I'm currently working on my novel, and not only on paper. It's a novelization of that body of knowledge I spoke of before. This is a topic that really needs to get out there, and I'm really extremely passionate about, because I know that these events really govern all of our decisions, and everything every way we can possibly get through a day. They're all governed by stuff that happened about around 5,000 years ago, and which is sad, because, like I said, it's a destructive event. Other than that, I can be found on Substack, and I'm really into that. I love the community there. LinkedIn is my second home. Really enjoy that, and most of all, I enjoy spending a shit ton of time with my wife and daughter, my second daughter as well, whenever she's around. But right now, she's in Australia with her boyfriend, and just investing myself in this painful experience of creating and writing and getting on paper a novel. It is something to pull your hair out. Just a really frustrating experience, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I really think that everybody needs this.
I love that. And what just came to me when you explored, the frustration that comes with writing a novel and going deep into that. Someone recently shared with me that entrepreneurship is a journey of personal growth in itself. It's a self-exploratory journey in itself. It's its own reward. If you are able to pay bills or even have a lavish lifestyle thanks to that, amazing. But it's already a reward in itself. I really have the feeling that writing a book, any kind of book, is the same. Especially if it's something profound or very deeply linked to your soul, to your essence. I really feel it's the same. And obviously, if you link both, right, an entrepreneur journey and a book, then you have a double combo. You have twice the fun and twice the challenges. But it's very interesting. So yeah, I feel probably like that frustration and the challenges and the road bumps are absolutely part of the journey, and are part of the jewel box in a way. And it's up to us to see it that way.
They are. They really are. It'll make me a better person. It'll make me a better writer. I only see positive benefits from all these challenges. Whenever I run my ultra marathons, it's the same thing. Whenever I train for the ultra marathons, every hill is going to help me run longer and healthier. Every little rock that I stumble over is going to help me concentrate better and get me to where I'd like to be at the finish line. And that's just, I think that's the way of life, right? Just like yin and yang, you have to accept the challenges. You can't have just smooth sailing the entire time.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It just came to me, so I will be a little bit late, but I would love to have your take on this, just for a couple of minutes. How are you able to take your marathon experience, ultra marathon experience, to your novel writing? Are you able to do that?
It's a test of endurance. Ultra marathons are a real test of endurance, and you really you have to dedicate yourself. And yeah, that's exactly what you're doing when you're writing a novel. No matter how difficult it gets, you got to keep up the good work, and you'll never get to the end. And you have to not only it's not only a dedication in the physical sense, but you have to be mentally prepared, you have to be physically prepared, you have to be emotionally prepared. All of these things play a role in how you run, and obviously how you write the book. Every little change in the atmosphere and the vibe or whatever is going to be is going to play itself out with the words you put on the page and the steps you take on the ground. And most importantly, I think running ultra marathons, because the landscapes that you run through are so glorious, and it's very easy to remember why you're doing all this. Just the magic of nature, the grandiosity of nature. This is the way the world could be. It should be, and this is what I'm all about. This is my takeaway from ultra marathons.
I love that. I will share that with you. Actually, I watched a short video right before our chat from Jim Quick. I don't know if you ever heard about that amazing man, Jim Quick. And it was all about how and staying in awe and celebrating awe in various ways. So he had a guest on his own podcast. I'm going to share that with you. I feel you're gonna love it. So, Jack, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I was so happy with that chat. Marnie, Jonathan, and Jason, thank you so much for your comments. And LinkedIn user, so I will assume it was Michelle likes, but maybe not, who knows. In any case, the people that listen to either live or during a replay, during the recording, thank you so much for your energy, for being there. You don't have to comment to still be there with us energetically. So thank you so much. Alden, once again, thank you for connecting Jack and I. And guys, I wish you a wonderful rest of your week. So see you next week. I will have actually 2 episodes on Tuesday and Wednesday, exceptionally. So I will let you know in there, on the posts here, the traditional LinkedIn stuff. Do you have any last words, dear Jack?
I would like to thank you for having me here. This was an awesome experience. I'd love to continue our conversation, and let's make sure we keep up our little LinkedIn friendship here. Yeah, because I really enjoy that. I really enjoy
absolutely
everything you're doing.
We just started to explore that. Absolutely. Oh, it's Becky. Nice. So happy to have you, Becky. So thank you. So now I know who to thank for the messages. So happy that you joined, and see you very soon. And thank you again, guys. Bye-bye.
Peace out.